So the first of our quarterfinals completed. 4 more matches to come, and the next match, mixed doubles, followed by women's doubles, women's singles, and the last of our 5 quarterfinals, men's singles. So, of course, the mixed doubles, next match on court, Tao Jiaming and Tian Qing of China up against Sudket Prapakamol and Saralee Thoungthongkam of Thailand.
It's the Yonex All England Open Badminton Championships. In the mixed doubles, the number 5 seeds from China, Jiaming Tao and Tian Qing.
They are a pair that's been in tremendous form, this Chinese combination, Tao Jiaming and Tian Qing. Reached the final of the first 2 Super Series events played this year.
And their opponents, the number 3 seeds from Thailand, Sudket Prapakamol and Saralee Thoungthongkam.
So the number 3 seeds from Thailand, Sudket Prapakamol and Saralee Thoungthongkam. Semi-finalists at these All England Championships back in 2005. Lost to a certain Robertson and Ems of England. And sadly, of course, no British interest on quarterfinals day here at the All England Championships. So our match officials for this mixed doubles, we've got Yolin Na and Jan Hancock.
Receive. Saralee first.
Saralee receive. Okay.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Thank you.
Chose to receive. Thailand pair. You don't often hear that, I don't think. Most players wishing to choose ends first or choosing to serve. Well, let's look first of all at the number 5 seeds from China. Tao Jiaming and Tian Qing, seeding of 5, and a very impressive win-loss record for the year. As I say, 2 final appearances, reached the final at the Malaysian, lost out to teammates He Hanbin and Ma Jin, and then lost in the final of the Korean, the first ever Premier Super Series event, again losing to teammates Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei. Number 11 in the world rankings, and that's only with 6 tournaments to their names. Well, they had to play qualifiers from Denmark in the first round, and then played against Diju Valiavitil and Jwala Gupta of India in yesterday's match. So both of those matches in 2 straight games. 50 minutes in total for those 2 matches. All done and dusted in double quick time. The Chinese players 25 and 24, whereas the Thailand players, Sudket Prapakamol, turned 31 last month. Saralee already reached 31. Seeding of 3, world ranking down to 4. And as I say, they were semi-finalists at these All England Championships back in 2005. Negative win-loss record of the year, but they did reach the final of the Super Series finals played in Taipei, the very first event of 2011. Well, if you think that their Chinese opponents have had easy matches, just look how difficult the Thailand pair have had to battle through. First of all, against the Commonwealth Games bronze medalists from Singapore. Both of those matches, incidentally, you can see dropping the second game And that second match against the winners of the German Open last week, the British pairing of Robert Blair and Gabby White. 52 minutes, that match late last night in duration, breaking the hearts of the home fans here in Birmingham. And it was the last British interest in the 101st All England Championships. So Yao Lin Na of Malaysia, the umpire, Jane Hancock of England, the service judge. Well, really have started their partnership so extremely well, have the Chinese. So Tao Jiaming and Tian Qing reaching the final of the first two Super Series events this year, Malaysian and Korean. Only 6 tournaments towards their world ranking and already up at number 11. Sudket Prapakamol and Saralee Thoungthongkam are both 31 years of age. Semi-finalists in 2005, and incidentally twice bronze medalists from World Championships back in 2005 and 2006. And they're very, very experienced as a pair. This is their 9th year together. But they have had tough matches so far in this year's All England.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Sudket Prapakamol, Saralee Thoungthongkam, Thailand. And on my left, Tao Jiaming, Tian Qing, China. Tian Qing to serve to Saralee Thoungthongkam, level play.
So the Chinese number 5 seeds against the number 3 seeds from Thailand. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, I don't usually see such a potent smash in the very first rally of a match. That was incredible. Angle and pace. Now well long of the back line. Now, Ian, when the umpire tossed the coin at the start of the match, unusual decision by the pair from Thailand. They chose to receive. We don't often see that in badminton.
No, it's quite a rarity, and you know the habit these days, with less emphasis on service to score the points with the new system, is to choose the ends. The ends you prefer, the easier end or the harder end, whatever your thinking is. But to choose to receive is a little strange. It's obviously something, maybe a little bit of superstition in that, I don't know.
The Thailand pair have reached as high as number 2 in the world. So at the end of last year. But they are a pair that of late have been struggling. Only won one match in their last 3 tournaments, and that included last week in Germany, where they were the number 1 seeds. They lost their very first match to Nikolaenko and Sorakina of Russia.
Yes, they've really struggled this year so far, but I have to say there were signs last night I felt in the match against Blair and White of them just regaining a little bit of enthusiasm, and they seem to be enjoying it a little bit more again, and they really played quite well to finish that match in the end, because Bob and Gabby are in very, very good form, having won the German last week. It's a good win for them.
What's interesting to me about the Chinese combination, you've got two players that have enjoyed success with different partners. They both seem very flexible in their ability to play and adapt to different pairings. Tao Jiaming has won 4 career titles in the mixed doubles with 3 different partners. Tian Qing in the women's doubles, there she is, has won 5 titles with 4 different partners. And in fact, her capabilities to make adjustments and adapt has drawn real praise from head coach Lee Yongbo. Now, not many people get praise from him. He's a hard taskmaster, is Lee Yongbo. But he was telling me that he was so impressed with her because she's got a flexible character, flexible style. She can play with anyone. Well, she's already proved that.
One of the most interesting aspects of that, Jill, is that while she was playing with those different ladies doubles partner, for the majority of time she wasn't playing mixed.
Yes.
And suddenly she finds herself in a mixed combination, which is proving itself to be one of the best in the world at the moment.
Yes, it certainly is. Since reforming their partnership at the China Masters last autumn, they've played 6 tournaments, been in 5 finals, having won 2 of them. That is incredible.
10-2.
Oh, doubled quick time. 10-2 advantage. Oh. For the mid-game interval, a 9-point advantage in just under 5 minutes of play. Well, he didn't even react to that, Sudket Prapakamol. Given up on the rally. Can't give up on the match after 5 minutes.
But that's something we've been seeing from him. He drifts in and out of matches so far this year. Last night was the best concentration I'd seen from him this year, certainly, but he started this match in a very passive manner. But what we are seeing on the other side, Jill, and I know we've spoken about it before, but Tao is not your typical Chinese male mixed player. This guy's got real skill. He can turn a shuttle. He's not just a power, speed-type player that the Chinese tend to favour in mixed doubles. He's got real skill, and we've already seen a lot of variety from him in this first half of the game.
Yes, and it's interesting because the coach for the Chinese mixed doubles players, Zhang Jun, who, of course, twice Olympic champion in the mixed doubles, all-England champion, of course, with Gao Ling, and he was very much a power play. There he is on the right as we look at them. He'd like to really blast the shuttle, play as fast as possible, and yet he's developed a player here that's a lot more thoughtful in his play.
Yes, he's got real variety in his game. He's very good from the mid-court at turning the play, something you don't necessarily associate with the Chinese players. He's got good touch, fixes the opponent in the straight and turns the shuttle across to the cross-court position. Very skillful player.
Now, what on earth is going on here? Sudket Prapakamol. Early on in that rally, just seemed prepared to lift the shuttle, as if he wasn't really bothered. Oh, that's more like it. Oops. Well, that was 9 straight points to the Chinese pair. Tian Qing going forward at the right moment, but making the error on her shot. Oh, flick serve long.
Service over, 14-3.
Sergeant in the army back in Thailand is Sudket Prapakamol. Interesting that his partner, Saralee, is a captain, higher officer. She's in the Air Force. Yes, well, the Thailand coaches not looking too happy at the moment, and that's quite understandable.
Yep, just can't find a way into the rallies. Chinese dominant from the service and return positions. And Tian there, very, very comfortable on the forecourt. The partner creating a lot of opportunities for it.
Now, obviously players may feel at this sort of scoreline that the game is beyond them, but you would have thought that the Thailand pair would be very anxious to play themselves into the match. But there doesn't seem to be any sort of real urgency to find their form, extend the rallies, play themselves in.
No, and as I said, we've seen it once or twice already this year where Sudket early on in matches gets in a negative frame of mind and tends to drift for periods of the matches. Sad to see, because when he's playing well, he's a very dynamic, explosive player. Great player to watch when he's on form.
Yes, as indeed he was when they won the French Super Series event last year. Aided by the net cord from Sudket Prapakamol. Yeah, there it was.
There's an example of what I was saying, Jill. Lovely change of direction, great control, not forcing the play, seeing the space, good peripheral vision.
So 16 game points for the Chinese pair. Only needed the one. Well, that's absolutely astonishing.
First game,
9 minutes, 20 seconds for the opening game. In an all-England quarter-final. Well, disappointing, to say the least. Total dominance from Tao Jiaming and Tian Qing. 21-4.
不错，整个不错。但你要记住，第一局他后来是没跟我们拼，他放下去没跟我们拼第二、第三局。第一局他落太多，他无所谓放两局。下面还是要注意，开局很重要，一定要把开局打好，先把分跳开，好的把发球把打平。你要注意，你看你头顶上，一到他Saralee正手那个正手这个地方，他就先抢我，你先就。
I think the stats are going to be heavily favouring the Chinese here. Overhead winners, 0. Says it all, really. Never really create any attacking chances, the Thailand pair. And quite a number of unforced errors, particularly from Sudket there. Unable to get his partner into the game, and as you say, Jill, really didn't look motivated from the interval onwards.
And hopefully the coaches have said something that will inspire Sudket and Saralee. Court attendants on, mopping the perspiration from the court surface. Well, desperately disappointing opening game, I have to say. 21-4 in favour of Tao Jiaming and Tian Qing against the former world number 2 ranked pair. Number 3 seeds here at this year's All England Championships. Sudket Prapakamol and Saralee Thoungthongkam. Well, I hope they've been inspired by their coaches.
Second game.
And will be a little more dynamic and fired up for this second game.
It was a very telling event in the interval there, Jill. The moppers came on, used to lots of perspiration on the court to clean up. The mopper walked on at the end where the Thailand pair had played and just walked off again. All the mopping was done at the end that the Chinese had been playing.
2 loved.
Oh, that's clever. Right idea, wrong execution.
1-2.
Well, Sudket Prapakamol, his nickname in the team is Turtle, and I've always wondered why. And they've never told me, but maybe that opening game is a clue.
And he was in his shell, that's for sure.
That's right. difference when they're on the attack, when they're hitting the shuttle in a downward direction.
Yeah, well-placed smash, sets his partner up. Saralee happy to get in the game. Didn't get many opportunities in the first set.
Service over, 2-3.
Great return.
Just wide.
Service over.
I guess in a way it's quite difficult for a pair that's won the opening game so easily to actually keep that sort of intensity, because obviously when your opponent's playing well, it tends to raise the level of play of all players on court, and perhaps they might find it a little bit difficult now in the second game when there's pace put on the shuttle and they can't have things all their own way.
Yeah, I'm sure. Zhang Zheng's experience, that's exactly what he will have been saying in the break. He'll be saying the only danger here is if you drop your intensity. I'm sure there weren't a lot of tactics in the coaching. It will have been about, right, 0-0, you go again, keep the intensity high.
Well, Tao Jiaming didn't like the call. You can see that clipped the line. Umpire not happy that Tao Jiaming was showing his displeasure at the call.
5-2, play.
Oh, quite clearly the longest rally of the match so far, and it wasn't particularly long.
6-2.
Yeah, better intensity from the Thailand pair. I think Tao played with a bit of anger there. He did try and hit everything in that rally. Wasn't happy with the line call, I don't think, and tried to take it out on the shuttle in the next rally. Not really his style of play.
Service over, 3-6.
That's clever. I like that. That's what I like. I think he sees Saralee setting up for the interception, dinks the shuttle in front of her, doesn't drive onto the racket, lays the shuttle off in front of her and forces the mistake. Good variety on the serve, going wider. See that change of direction.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, wonderful play from Saralee Thoungthongkam. Beautiful drop shot. There it was, the deception followed forward to the net.
Yeah, good mix, good awareness. Caught in the rear court position, took the pace off to give herself time to get in behind it and refine that net position. And when she got there, found the winning shot. Disappointed with this. This time, Tian going back, creating the opportunity. He saw the shot, he saw the play, just missed it.
over.
He was never adverse to going forward sometimes, Sudket Prapakamol, but couldn't really get involved in the rally. And it's not the traditional formation for the man to go forward to the net in mixed doubles. Usually players and pairs use service fault called, struck above the waist, says Jane Hancock.
Yeah, good call. Just lifted the shuttle before she struck it.
Now perhaps we just ought to clarify the rule on serve. The shuttle must be struck below the waist, but the definition of a waist in badminton is slightly different to what you and I would probably call a waist. It's below the lowest rib. And so often he has the good ideas, but the execution lets him down.
Tao there seeing Saralee in the rear court. Last couple of points she's played and followed straight in, and he used the drive there to try and keep her back in the court, try and catch her off guard, but just missed it.
Just wide, but it was a good rally.
Service over, 8-10.
Tian seeing the chance to move forward, keeping Saralee, driving her back, keeping her on that mid-court position and forcing the mistake.
Just slightly off balance as she tried to intercept that shot.
Something Saralee likes to do. She likes to take one step off and look for the interception. Chinese are doing well tonight as they're just laying the shuttle off in front of her and not hitting onto the racket.
Service over. 11-9.
We go to the mid-game interval with the Thailand pair have the advantage, 2-point advantage to be precise. Well, certainly completely different players here in this second game to the opening game.
Interesting, we've seen a couple of mistakes from Tao in the front court, and I think that's something you see with players that go to one event. He's only playing mixed. In men's, he would be getting a lot of reflex practice around the front court. Because they stop the men's doubles practice and concentrate on the mixed doubles practice, I think they sometimes lose their reactions a little bit around the front court. And he was certainly guilty twice in that first half of that game.
Cut to 20 seconds. Cut to 20 seconds.
It's interesting, Zhang Jun, when his players were winning in the opening game, appeared a lot more animated in what he was saying to them, and now seems a lot calmer, perhaps giving more tactical advice, whereas in the opening game he was saying, that's great, come on, keep that going.
Yes, I'm sure tactically he wants them to just refocus a little bit and
11-9.
just concentrate on maybe the simple things, just getting the shuttle below net height, creating some attacking opportunities. I've just been happy to defend too much in that first half.
Service over. 10-11.
And the hesitation cost him dear.
Service over. 12.
Oh, she's been strangely quiet in this second game. Tian Qing hasn't been able to get involved as much as she did in the opening game.
No, the Thailand pair working a bit harder, creating some more attacking opportunities.
Service over. 11-12. Service ball call.
It's a service fault again. Again, just guiltier. She does have this habit of just lifting the shuttle just before she strikes it. We're going to see it here. You see the hand just coming up. That's a good call from the service judge. That's well above the waist.
Yes, good. Fast exchange there.
Yes, I was singing Tao's praises in the first game, the variety he's got, but he's gone into a phase where he's trying to put pace on the mid-court. He wants to up the intensity, but what he needs is intensity with the movement, take the shuttle early, but mix the pace of the shuttle up, and at the moment he's just a little bit guilty of trying to hit everything hard.
Service over. 12-14.
No, she's desperately trying to intercept more.
Yeah, lost the rhythm a little bit, haven't they, Jill?
This is what I was alluding to earlier. I felt that because they'd had it so much one way in the opening game, that they could perhaps struggle here in the second.
Yeah, definitely signs of that, and Tao is trying to find some more intensity, but what he's doing is putting pace on the shuttle, and that's actually suiting Sudket at the moment.
We didn't see those sort of errors in the opening game.
Oh, and again, he's trying to force it, no patience. He could have just blocked off to the centre there. He'd have had lots of times. Thailand pair would have been forced to lift, and he'd have had an easier opportunity.
Look at Tian Qing, he's not happy with that.
Tao's having a bit of a bad patch. It's a poor return as well.
Better. Across the body. Saralee Thoungthongkam.
Still a little bit off balance when he's hitting that. It was very much winner or loser. Just showing signs of frustration in this match, having won the first so easily.
Service over. 18-14.
Yes, well,
19-14.
Very much looking at the moment as it will be into a third and deciding game. 2 points away from making that happen. Oh, super shot to end it from Tian Qing. A change of pace, a little acute angle. Did well to reach it, stretching up high. that's wide.
Service over. 20.
Number 3 seeds from Thailand. 5 game points. Delightful cross-court net shot from Tian Qing. Set up the rally. Look, she sways her body one way, hits the shuttle another. 257. 159 miles per hour. Well, it was very, very ambitious shot to try. Well, 3 game points have been saved. Another 2 remain, though. Error on the serve from Tao Jiaming gifts that game away in favour of Sudket Prapakamol and Saralee Thoungthongkam. 21-18. The margin of success in that second game. And well, indeed. The third and deciding game.
มาเข้าตัวเงี้ยตีเบี่ยงไปยาวๆไม่เป็นไรอย่าไปรีบกระแทกเพราะว่าเราไม้ต่ำแล้วเสียเปรียบแล้วแต่ถ้ามึงเข้าไม้บนโอเคมึงแทงได้เลยแทงแหลมปุ๊บตั้งไม้บนวิ่งเดินเข้าผู้หญิงพอมันรับเป็นวิ่งตรงอย่างเดียวมันวิ่งตรงอย่างเดียวเปลี่ยนทางซะแค่นั้นเองส้มดีแล้ว
Probably the interesting stat there, if you look at the margin, it was won by 3 points, is the serve and return errors from the Chinese pair. And I think that's just an indication that they lost concentration a little bit after that easy first game. With the stats all fairly even, 21-18, but the difference there, I think, on those serve and return errors, and that's a real indicator that they just dropped their intensity a little bit.
Well, they really did look so dominant in that opening game, Tao Jiaming and Tian Qing. And the coach is looking a little more uncomfortable now. Well, it's interesting in that timeout, Tao Jiaming and Tian Qing going to talk to the umpire and obviously making comment about the service faults that have been called. She was indicating that it was for shuttle struck above the waist. We've had the opportunity to look back at that, and we both agree with Jane Hancock that she made good calls. But obviously that has disturbed the number 5 seeds. Well, if that's a sign of intent, then the Chinese are going to try and really up the pace of this.
Yes, and the more More animated coaching corner there behind the Chinese pair. Sure, desperately keen to see them get a quick start here.
1-0.
Remember, of course, this is the third time that these two pairs have met, and it's the first time that the match has gone the full distance. Chinese pair having won their 2 previous encounters. So this new territory as far as these two pairs are concerned, playing each other. That's wonderful defence from Sudket Prapakamol.
Yeah, and that's a great shot, but that's what he likes. He likes pace coming onto him. Tao there off balance, hitting hard, and then he's not in a position to cover the cross defence. Another sign that he's just lost patience. He's frustrated with this game, Tao, and his game is not a forcing type game, but that's exactly what he's doing at the moment.
Well, he's obviously not fully settled mentally, deliberately taking his time, trying to recompose the thoughts. And his partner, Tian Qing, doing as best she can to encourage him. Once again, still taking his time. Yeah, now the umpire's saying enough is enough. Got to get ready to play a little quicker. Yeah, well, this is so typical of Sudket Prapakamol. I mean, one moment he's walking around the court as if he hasn't a care in the world, and now he's playing a dynamic, exciting game. He really is a joy to watch sometimes when he's playing like this, because he's such a character. He's a great character off court.
Well, he's there now, that's for sure. And as you say, Jill, he can be so dynamic and creative, but just there we go. Yeah, just out. Good call.
Yeah, very cool. Good call by the line judge. Sudket doesn't like the fact that the Chinese appear to be trying to influence the call. Just long. But you see, that sort of shot, he tried to put topspin on the shuttle. It's almost as if it's a trick shot. He comes out with these outrageous attempts sometimes, and when it works, it's spectacular. But if it doesn't, it's a disaster.
Well, you said it. You said he's a real character on court. Well, that spells grey hairs for the coaches in my book. He's.
Is that what's happened to you?
You don't know what you're going to get from him. I'm sure the coaches don't know what you're going to get. First game, walked around. The turtle was well in his shell, and suddenly he's really on top of this game.
That's a good rally.
It's a completely different player, isn't it? There's great intensity. He was persistent with the attack. Getting good height. Moving forward onto the shuttle. Getting moving in behind that shuttle. Very aggressive. And Tao beginning to look a very frustrated player.
Six of the last 7 points going in favour of the pair from Thailand. Oh my goodness. And with that attempt there from Saralee.
It's Tian Qing keeping them in this game at the moment. Great interception. Yeah, and she's just lost confidence a little bit in the service with those two false serves that were called. And I have to say, that still looks very high to me, Joe.
Over 4-7.
Tao taking a long time to repair here.
Yes, but to no advantage. Disturbing himself, if anything.
Too long, no rhythm.
Well, that looked flat as well. Of course, just to explain that comment, serves in badminton not only struck below the waist, the racket must be facing in a downward direction. Got to hit the cork first. Can't move your feet, numerous rules.
And signs again with that return of serve that his thought processes are all going wrong here. He's gone for the aggressive return of serve, but then he's not ready for the flat reply, which normally you're looking for with that type of return.
Oh, it's a very good smash from Sudket Prapakamol towards the right hip of Tian Qing. She was waiting, defending with the backhand action. Got in a tangle when it went down her forehand side. Well,
11-4.
a 7-point advantage to the number 3 seeds as the players change ends in this deciding game. And Ian, in the opening game, we certainly wouldn't have predicted a third game with the Thailand pair looking very much as if they're in the ascendancy.
Jill, I think you've got to pose the question whether it was a deliberate tactic from the Thailand pair to actually not give any rhythm in the first game. Just destroy the rhythm of the Chinese pair, give them nothing to play with, and try and break their concentration. They know this Chinese pair have been in great form recently, playing great confidence, great rhythm, and they've taken all the rhythm away from them in the first game. Whether it's deliberate or not, that's actually what's happened.
Well, that's extraordinary. I don't think I would have ever had the confidence to deliberately give away an opening game and come out as if, well, quite frankly, without being too harsh, they looked as if they under carrying the world. They're a different pair now.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to ask the question, because it's been the deciding factor in the match so far, the fact that in that first game they took all the rhythm away and took all the intensity out of the Chinese play. And since they've upped the tempo, the Chinese haven't been able to respond, particularly Tao.
Just wide.
Zhang Jun in the coaching chair is very, very animated at the moment. Really trying to get Tao going, trying to give him some confidence. Talking between every rally.
Extraordinary rally. Start of that rally, it was Saralee at the back of the court that was doing all the smashing. And eventually, when Sudket got to the back, making the difference with his power play,
Yep, halfway through the rally, he almost pushed his partner out of the way there to get to the shuttle. He's really flying at the moment.
Yeah, flatter smash that time from Saralee Thoungthongkam. Clever play.
Yeah. Tian Qing would be retreating to try and find a defensive position, and rather than hitting the shuttle down, hit it flat. Made it more difficult for her. Yeah, close smash from Tao. This time taking a little bit of pace off and going for precision down the line. Looking for the forehand defence and finding it really well, forcing the mistake.
Well, the Chinese pair certainly need to react, and they need to start that comeback right now. Oh, he's hit it too flat, long of the back line, well long of the back line.
Yeah, no patience, desperate to play the winning shot rather than constricting the point.
Oh, that is brilliant. Move forward at exactly the right moment. Great racket head control and just guiding the shuttle down into that open space. Beautiful.
Great mix play.
9-point advantage now.
Thanks.
Oh, she's just reading everything now at the net. Saralee, lovely play once again.
Yeah, flying, and don't know whether we're going to see it in this round, but look at Sudket, how high in the court he is. He's looking to fill the space, reading his partner's play. Chinese pair having to work really, really hard for all the points now, because Thailand pair are playing really as a pair now. There's no space on the court, even in defence. Got everything covered between them, making the Chinese work extremely hard.
.266. Just over 165 miles per hour. Good angle. Down the centre of the court, the channel attack, so effective once again.
Yeah, gets up high. Change of pace, pace off. Gets up high again, pace on. Good play, good rear court variety there.
Service over 8-17.
Sudket not happy with himself here. Knows he made a poor choice. Look at the frustration. He's really in this match now.
Aggressive shot there from Saralee Thoungthongkam. They move forward, trying to lift cross court. Not the ideal shot to play, and got pounced upon.
Yeah, interesting Tao there, taking the pace off and creating some time for himself. And that's what's been lacking really from him in this match, in the second and third games.
The Italian coach is still offering advice, both former players. Oh, the luck of the net cord, but my goodness, he did well to reach that little half-court push, did Tao. It's a good return of serve. There's the luck of the net cord.
Return the compliment, the net court return. Net cord here, looking for that block, great precision.
So now the number 3 seeds just 3 points away from a place in the semi-final.
Round 18. Go! 12-18.
Saralee there just guilty of forcing the play a little bit. She's done so well to block those off and be patient and work for a partner. But this time she looked to try and win the point rather than being patient.
Italian players getting in each other's way there, but still managing to recover.
Yes, but they're both moving forward, Jill. They're both trying to be positive.
That's good. A super defensive shot from Sudket Prapakamol.
Match point.
And having been totally outclassed in the opening game, the number 3 seeds now on the verge of victory. 7 match point opportunities. Oh goodness, what happened there?
Service over. 14.
Took his eye off the shuttle.
Saralee. Sudket.
Umpire asking the Thailand players to get ready a little quicker. They felt they were taking too much time. Just getting wide. Second time of asking. Second match point opportunity. And Sudket Prapakamol and Saralee Thoungthongkam have come through this quarter-final encounter. 3 games, and as I say, totally outclassed in the opening game, which they dropped 4-21. But by the end of the match, Sudket Prapakamol was a different player altogether, more urgency in his style of play, creative, fast, looking for opportunities. And that change of attitude brought its reward. So confirmation of the score, 4-21, 21-18, 21-14 in 52 minutes of play. Yes, well, you never know what you're going to get with the Thailand players, do you, Sudket and Saralee? Sometimes when they're on great form, they look as if they really are one of the best in the world, as their ranking has recently reflected. But when they started the match, I thought, my goodness me, what on earth's going on?
Big shift round during the 3 sets, really, Jill. If you look at the short rallies in the first game, they were all for the Chinese pair. Third game, dominated the serve and return situations, the Thailand pair. More overhead winners. They didn't have one overhead winner in the first set, the Thailand pair, and look at that change round. Heavily on top of the stats there, and the unforced errors in the end, because they were forced to defend, were coming from the Chinese pair.
Well, safely through to their second semi-final at the All England Championships, first back in 2005, and they will meet the winners of Hindra Setiowan and Anastasia Ruski, who are playing against the Danish combination of Joachim Fischer-Nielsen and Christina Pedersen.